So Yoko Taro's first ever anime project just got its season 2 released. Just shadow drop because no one's really talking about besides the Yoko Taro community. Other than that, it's very, very under the radar and stuff like that. So I have some memories of the story. It was entertaining. CGI was what I expected. Something like JC Staff would do, and it kind of sped things up towards the end a little too fast, proving sometimes 12 episodes is not enough for some anime. So then, yes, we're getting a season 2, but like I said, things still felt rushed towards the end of the last season. So now here we are with season 2, and boy, we have a huge time gap. Not just a huge time gap, we have one cluster crush of an ending that happened last season, where Goro was about to do some very Deus Ex Machina kind of stuff toward the end until that little sister girl came in. I'm sorry, I don't remember anyone's names, but the main characters, which was Goro and Ono, and that is it. Everyone else's names I can't remember to save my life. I totally forgot to rewatch this anime, because usually I rewatch the animes before the next season comes out, so I have a nice refresher of what's happening and stuff. But I totally forgot about this, and I was like, oh, here it is. It's right there. And I'll be reviewing it on Thursdays because it comes out Wednesdays, but I'll be clocked out on Wednesdays because I go to the gym and work and stuff, so I just like that. But anyways, yeah, man, this giant time skip. You gotta hear 2 years, 3 years, but 12 years, my goodness. This is pretty much all the characters from last season who survived are pretty much adults now. They're adults in their mid-20s, I would like to say, because they were in high school. So there's that. And we got a new character named Sasaki, or Echo-chan, as one of the previous characters from last season calls him. And he seems like a little timid, but yet nerdy kind of boy, the one that's very interested in the conspiracy theories and stuff like that, the one that everyone doesn't like to be around because he's so nerdy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this first scene from the show kind of ticked me off because I think this is an American thing, but there's no way in the world kids are not interested in conspiracy theories over freaking Beatles. I just know growing up, I guess mostly black areas of schools, we did not care for bugs. We did not care for bugs. We hated bugs. Bugs because we grew up and our parents we don't want no roaches or no flies up in this house, and that's what we did. We kept clean to make sure there was no messes for any bugs getting into the house, no matter what. And if they were in the house, they got dealt with and stuff like that. We didn't care about no granddaddy longlegs, no ladybugs. None of that stuff was allowed. So, but we were definitely interested in conspiracy theories. About the president of robot, about the people on the moon, and stuff like that. We were interested in all kinds of things as kids. So when I see in this episode a bunch of kids not interested in conspiracy theory, that is nuts. That is nuts. Maybe the way he explained it sounded boring, and as an adult, I thought it fascinating. But I used to everybody else, it was, man, it was lame. Then the other kick shows up. Let me show you how this rhino beetle can get bigger. It's like, okay. I just like that over there in Japan. They're interested in their bugs and stuff like that. It's not like that over here, especially in my area, growing up as a kid. We do not care about no bugs, man. Now, conspiracy theories, yeah, but we be on that stuff sometimes. We try to figure out why some big events are happening in the world. We watch on the news and see there might be more to the story than what it is, man. That was like, okay, anyways, I am too on this topic. I'm sorry, it just got to me. But anyways, after that, we see a familiar character, the girl with the shoes, the ones where she can teleport people with the shoes. Like I said, I don't remember her name. And she was in a safe area last time I checked, but she seems not to remember what happened 12 years ago. So apparently it is called the 828 incident, where people in that area all had this hallucination and now they cannot age. They can't age at all. They're ageless, and so they've been categorized as these certain abhorrent, unique kind of people that they're discovering whether or not they're even human anymore. So what it was Goro was trying to do back then, it failed because one of the main antagonists stopped him, got rid of him before he could finish. And speaking of that, right after we see that previous character, we see that former antagonist. Last time we saw her, she was in a wheelchair and she couldn't open her eyes because her ability caused her to keep her eyes closed because she had that Cheshire Cat ability. When she had her eyes closed, anything was possible to her. But when she opened the eyes, she lost those powers. And last time I checked, that in the last episode of last season, she was getting her ass kicked by a bunch of people who were pissed off in the middle of the street. That's my check. Like, they were throwing bricks at her. That's my check. Yes. Yeah, I remember. They were throwing bricks at her, and they were beating her up and stuff. But as Goro was about to do his Deus Ex Machina kind of thing, she stopped him. And a confirmation in this episode, she got rid of him and stuff. So Goro is gone, as we know so far. And this kid is just there because he's interested in it. Sasuke is because he had a dream that he met God in his dream and stuff. And the same people during that incident all say the same thing. It's like they're about to have their wish granted until something happened. Because that girl, the one with the Cheshire power, she stopped Goro during his process, and it messed them up. So now they were about to have their wish granted, but it didn't happen. So that's crazy, man. That's real crazy. With that being said, um, now she seems to be up in this high form of power. The last time I checked, she is still from a very, very important family in that world. So she gained some power and she has security, and she even formed a cult. That's what it is. It's a cult. It's God's the key or something. They created. Its name is cult. It's not an organization. It's a cult. And they all wish to see God again. And they'll do it by any means necessary. And then towards the end, they have a little intruder, a little girl in an orange jacket who stole a relic of theirs. And the relic was Goro's phone. And then another shocking revelation is that this is Ono. Ono. So Ono was Goro's familiar kind of thing, the little fairy that used to fly around Goro all the time, who was very upset of him becoming a god and stuff. But it turns out that this was Goro's dead sister in a way, because we saw Goro's past of how crappy his life was, and it turns out his mom was pregnant again with a guy she cheated on. However, she got rid of the baby, and the baby's name would have been, I guess, well, not Ono, but that's what Goro named the baby. So, I guess in a way, he must have granted a wish where she can come back to life as a new kind of person. However, she has the memories of her past, and now she is obsessed to find a way to bring her Onichan back, no matter what. Remember, she was obsessed with her brother because the brother is that gave her life, and she felt dedicated towards him no matter what. So that's crazy what happened. So she's trying to find a way to bring Goro back, but I guess the others don't want that. They do want to see God, but they don't want to see Goro again. They want a new God. But however, at the very end, the phone activated, meaning the game is back on. We might get some new players, or some familiar players as well, as we watch this new season of this episode. So that's pretty much it, what happens in this episode. Crazy stuff, man. Very crazy stuff. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing how this is. It feels it would be a lot more interesting opening than the last season's opening, where, it was just mid. This one seems to be just the right thing. So yeah, man, that's all I got for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This is Madcrownxox, all anime. Signing out.